Hey guys, welcome to my channel. This is my first ever video. I am extremely nervous, extremely anxious. I might touch my hair a lot. You might see me get confused. But I decided to finally take the plunge, make my first video, and I'm gonna make it about my experience in Mexico with my gastric sleeve. And I am on a journey of a lifetime. I have lost almost 80 pounds in 6 months, and I couldn't have done this without all the support of my friends and family. And will credit a lighter me. At the time, they were who I used, the facilities that I stayed in, and all of that. So if you're still interested, here comes the rest of the video, but thank you for watching. My whole journey started with a session. So I am a photographer, and I had a friend of mine reach out and ask me to take pictures for her because she had hit a weight loss goal. And I was super pumped. I think that's awesome and amazing. At first I didn't really ask any questions because, sometimes people don't really want to talk about it. We eventually eased into the conversation that she had a gastric sleeve done. And at that point, I didn't really know what that was. I had only really heard about a gastric bypass. And she told me the ins and outs. She had it done in Mexico. And I was like, what? At first, I was really concerned and I was like, oh my God. But then curiosity killed the cat. I went on Google. I looked up everything. I looked up so many companies, reviews, Facebook pages, groups, testimonials, like everything. This is a common thing. A lot of people go to Mexico for weight loss surgery. So it's made to be like a vacation while you're also getting these, procedures done. So she had encouraged me to look into it, and I did. I had made the decision right there. I was going to make it happen no matter what. I found a Lighter Me, which is the company I had used, and I found a Facebook group that they had, and it was very reliable. I mean, there was 28,000 people in this group, people who have had it done years ago, weeks ago, months ago, people planning to have this surgery done. People posted in there constantly, befores, afters, while they're there, what to expect, how they were treated. And it really gave me that comfort of, okay, maybe, Mexico isn't scary. Like some people will try to be like, oh, how do you know your kidneys aren't gone? Well, I've had a CT scan since, and all my organs are where they're supposed to be. But so that is where it all began. Once I found comfort in that, I put in, not an application, but I went through the process of being approved. I filled out this extensive questionnaire. I had to go through talking with the coordinator, and I was approved. Once I was approved, I got together the money, and at the time I paid $4,995, and that includes everything in your stay. So it includes your food, your hotel, the hospital stay, the surgery, and then it includes your companion to come too. So the only thing I had to pay extra for was plane tickets, and then my companion's food, which they have so many options, deliveries, they have food everywhere you go. So it's never a problem finding food. So you fly in from wherever you're coming from into the San Diego airport. They pick you up outside, and there's little markers like on signs, and like we were gate D, I believe. So we wait. So the drivers, they are in contact with you when you get on your plane. When you land, you text them which gate you're at, and they pick you up. We picked up one other person because we were fairly early in the morning. So it was me, my sister, this other person, and her aunt. So we drove into Mexico. Getting through the border was super easy. Straight to the hospital, and that's where they start the tests. So they do blood work, they do an EKG, and they kind of talk to you. After you finish your hospital things, like the checklist, you are free to go back to the hotel. You go to the welcome center. Usually they pick up, quite a few. We only had 2 people in our van, so we got to meet everybody else. They came in a little later than us, and then you're free to do whatever you want. So me and my sister ventured to the steakhouse across the street. We got her some dinner. We checked out the hotel, which by the way was amazing. Gorgeous views of Tijuana. And the steakhouse was 10 out of 10. It was called Fonda Argentina. Very good. That night we kind of just hung out, we relaxed, and we prepared for my surgery the next morning. I had to be down in the lobby by 8:30, and you check out, go to the hospital, and they prep you for surgery. I was so nervous. I really wasn't scared until I got to the hospital and I knew that I was about to have surgery. So I get there, they put you in this big gown, compression socks, they come in and talk to you. I did all that. I was waiting and waiting and waiting. Like an hour and a half went by and I was like, did they forget about me? So I went and found the girl that had come, like that we drove in with, and she was supposed to go first and that was supposed to be me. So I figured she'd already gone back. I found her aunt and they thought I went back first. So we kind of were just like waiting around. And then all of a sudden they called me. I was next. So I was so nervous. I just remember having like butterflies in my stomach. I was so scared to be put under. Every scare tactic thought that could happen did. Are they going to black market my organs? Are they going to take a kidney? Am I going to die? That all went through my brain. And then he told me, I'm going to give you a shot of tequila. I was gone. I woke up. I was in a little bit of pain, not pain, but more discomfort. It felt like somebody was laying on my chest. And so I had panicked a little and I was like, oh my goodness, I need help. And they came and they gave me some meds and I just remember waking up again and I was a lot more comfortable. I woke up, they brought me to my room. I got to see my sister. She called my parents to let them know I was alive and everything went great. The worst part about it is gas pains. Obviously, everybody gets them. I had them, but they weren't painful. It was more of just like, I knew I had to walk around. And the moment I felt that pressure like here, I got up and I walked to my room. I went to the bathroom. I did anything I could to make sure I didn't have the gas pains. That night, I kind of just got up and walked around and I couldn't really sleep because you have to sleep like on your back because you can't really lay on your side. I had a drain tube on my left side and then that was uncomfortable. But the next day, they come in and they give you this blue cup of liquid. The blue liquid is another form of the leak test. So they do that and then they remove your drain. The drain removal is so weird. It was like a worm coming out. It was long. It was like, and it just like, whoop. But after you finish that, like an hour or two later, they bring you downstairs for the actual like leak test where they watch it. So you get this cup and it's like this big and there's that much. You have to chug, you have to take a huge sip of the liquid. And at that point, your stomach is still so swollen from surgery that you can't really chug anything. So just a big sip and don't throw it up because they have to watch this fluid go down and it goes through your stomach and they have to make sure there's no leaks. If you have a leak with a gastric sleeve, it can be very dangerous. Thankfully, they do a couple versions of the leak test. They send you home with that as well to bring to your doctor, and they send all of your labs. So it's super convenient and helps everybody stay on the same page. After the leak test, you're free to puke it all up, is what I say. And then you also are free to drink liquids. So they give you Gatorade and apple juice and water. And you have to drink so much or you'll have to stay. Yeah, so that goes into that night. So you stay one more night after that, and the next day you're discharged as long as you had gotten enough fluids in and you're feeling good. So we got to leave. You're free to go back to the hospital. They bring you to the welcome center. Everyone's in different stages of their journey. Some people are getting gastric bypass. Some people are getting revisions. Some are just getting the sleeve like I did. Everybody's situations are different. They bring you back to the welcome center and you get to order your pain meds. And I know that sounds crazy, but it's literally a menu and you can choose any of the drugs you want. You can choose Tramadol, Zofran, you can do Xanax. Like it gets a little wild. I just got what I needed, which was omeprazole. I got Tramadol, which I don't need and I don't like, so I don't recommend. And then I got my mom some medicine, but you literally get to pick out of a menu and then you buy it and they bring it back from the pharmacy and you get like an actual prescription. And so you can bring it back over the border. It's pretty insane. After that, there are tours. We did take the tours. I wanted to take full advantage of my time in Mexico. It was beautiful. The city is very unique. There's a lot of different culture just within the one spot. So we got to go try Mexican gelato. We got to go to like a little hole-in-the-wall restaurant that was delicious. So if anyone ever needs a companion, I'll go for you. I will be your friend. But no, seriously, I really do hope to go back one day and get to try all the foods because it did look really good. There was also another tour the following day, and it was a beach tour, which was gorgeous. You get to drive all through Tijuana and you go up these really big hills and you just see the beach and you can see San Diego from a distance. It's pretty neat being able to see the border all the way down. But it's also kind of eerie, like knowing that separation. And there's a lot of, you know, strong opinionated people in Mexico about us and that border. So when we were at the beach, it kind of got uncomfortable at a few points because we were like the American tourists on the other side of the border, and they kind of weren't really all that nice about it. Just kind of like, you knew that they were whispering about us. So we did that, we left, and then we headed back to another gelato place. I got gelato twice, which was awesome, even though I could only eat like 1 or 2 bites. But being able to get the real experience in Tijuana was really neat, and I really did enjoy every part of it. After that tour, you stay one more night, and then the next morning you go home. Now, going into Mexico is easy. Coming back, going into the USA is insane. It's nerve-wracking. Even though I know I have nothing wrong in my bags and I live here and I am from here, I was still a nervous wreck. I don't know why, but they have dogs, they have guns, they have everything. The border is insane, and it's super busy because a lot of people who live in Tijuana actually work in the States. So coming back through, it didn't take us that long. We only had me, my sister, and one other lady who had left at the 8 o'clock tram, which we left early because we had a full day in San Diego and we wanted to take advantage of it since I did get a hotel. So we left, we got to the hotel. The driver actually took us from the airport to the hotel, which was super kind of him. And then we Ubered to a mall, which was so cool. We got to go to this huge mall in San Diego. It was gorgeous. We had good time. I went shopping. I couldn't buy food, so I bought shoes. But we had a really good time. My sister got to try sushi in San Diego, and I had some broth soup. And then we enjoyed our time back at the hotel. We sat on the balcony, watched the sunset. Our view was amazing. It was the water with sailboats, and it really was just so nice to relax and take in the scenery, because California is so different than Florida. Florida is so flat, and in California you have houses hanging off cliffs. Like it's beautiful, it's amazing. It's mind-blowing to me that it's normal. But so our flight was early in the morning the next day, so we had to be downstairs and get the shuttle to the airport by 7 a.m. Our flight was, I believe, around 8, so we had to be to the airport super early, and then we flew home. The plane ride home was a little more interesting because I had to get up and walk, but I got very lucky getting in the front. I had a lot of leg room, I could stand up, and then we had a connecting flight, so I had like 30 minutes to walk around. So everything went really smoothly. My whole experience, I would rate a 10 out of 10. I would recommend to everyone to use, my surgeon. He is fantastic. I still communicate with that whole crew on Facebook anytime that I need anything. The nurse, Cindy, is there, and they really guide you through everything. And even post-op and after you go home for like the first 6 weeks, they give you instructions step by step on exactly what you need to be doing, what to avoid, and how to have a successful gastric sleeve journey. So I did want to give you my stats. I was 260 pounds pre-op diet. So that was February 27th. I got down to 242 the day before surgery, which was March 12th. And then on surgery day, I was the same weight. And then now today, on September 4th of this year, 2019, I am 187.4. So far I've lost almost 80 pounds. It's been the best thing I've ever done. And yes, I went to Mexico. And yes, I'm alive. No, none of my organs are missing, and I recommend to everybody. So I just want to say thank you to everybody who's encouraged me to do this. I've probably taken this video about 4 times now, but I just want it to be as perfect as I can get it for you, especially because I don't want to embarrass myself. But yes, so thank you guys so much for everything. Subscribe if you want to hang out and learn a little bit about me and my journey. In the comments, leave me some suggestions. If you guys want to see something specific, leave it down below. Other than that, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.